that unfolded few months ago, this Black Lives Matters, right? This movement, and the painful death of some of our black brothers and sisters at the hands of cops. And then now you are a Muslim, right? And you see that Islam teaches us that there is no racism. Islam teaches us that everybody is equal in the eyes of God. Race does not matter. How do you see the equality in Islam when you compare what's going on in US?
I mean, to start off with, we all call each other brothers and sisters from the very get-go. You know, like from day one, I see or meet him. I don't know his name, but you know, it's sister. You know, the way that we are with one another, we don't discriminate, especially like in our masjid. You know, like I just met Sister Nubila the other day, and you know, like there's no difference. You know, absolutely no difference. And regardless, you know, like as a person, you should just know that. Period. It doesn't mean that you have to be Muslim or anything. That's just a basic human right. You know, like there's no difference between us at all. And, you know, like I can testify, like as a white person, you know, like as somebody with this skin color, you know, like Muslim, non-Muslim, I've been treated the exact same way. Like I haven't been discriminated against or anything. And like, it's really sad. Like there's no reason why, you know, like my neighbor who's a different skin color than me should have their life taken because of that, because of somebody's hatred, or, you know, or in relation, not any more significant or anything, but like in relation to that, you know, like Muslims who are looked at as terrorists because of somebody's religion, you know, like whether it's religion or their skin color, like none of those things should be any type of difference to a basic human right, you know?
So, I mean, when it comes to racism, right, we find that, of course, the Quran is very specific on that, very clear on that there is no racism in the religion. But at the same time, Prophet Muhammad, may peace be upon him, in the last sermon, he made it very clear that, you know, there is no superiority to a white over a black or black over white, or to an Arab over non-Arab or non-Arab over Arab. And everybody is equal in the eyes of God. What matters is the piety that you have. I mean, then if the more pious you are, the more special you are in the eyes of God. Not in the eyes of people, but in the eyes of God. Sister Fatima, having lived here for 30 years, what kind of racism have you seen or experienced or have read about it that you like to share with us? Anything that has to do with racism? Because this is a very burning topic.
Yes, yes, alhamdulillah, I haven't experienced any racism until after 9/11. And even after 9/11, it wasn't that bad. It was just few incidents here and there, but it wasn't that bad. I mean, the love I received actually was more than the racism I received. After 9/11, many people opened doors for me, helped me with my groceries. One time I was late in a store and this man followed me to my car, and actually I was worried. And then he was like, you know, sister, I'm just watching you until you get to your car. It's a little late and you shouldn't be out this late alone. And even he told me, oh, you should carry a gun. He said, you know, you should take a So alhamdulillah, some people have been very supportive, very loving, very caring, and that's what a community should be like. No matter who you are or what's your color, you should feel safe and cared and loved, you know, no matter where you are. And subhanAllah, there is a hadith also about the Prophet, about the perfect community, or the perfect brotherhood, sisterhood. Is like you should be like one body. If one part of your body hurts, your whole body should hurt. So I felt that after 9/11, you know, some people hurt for Muslims and what Muslims were going through, but yet on the other side of the scale, the people that are ignorant and they do not know much about Islam, they were, you know, fanning the flames of hatred. So with one incident that I clearly remember, it was like I was going to this big store, and these two white men, one older man and one younger man, just stopped me, just stopped in front of the door and wanted me in. And lots of people were coming in, so everybody just stopped and kept looking. And they were like screaming at me, hey, you're not allowed in here. And I just like, first of all, I just didn't know what to say, and I was about to cry, and I said, no, I'm not gonna cry. So I looked at the guy in the eye and I said, but why? He said, oh, you have a bomb on you. And I said, how do you know? And he said, because I know. And I said, well, I think you have a bomb on you. I think they both like, I guess they didn't expect that answer, and they keep looking at each other. And I just stood there. I just stood right there. And what hurts me is everybody else was just standing around, not doing anything, just watching. So I just stood there right there and waited. And then the older man held the younger man, and they just moved out of my way. Didn't say a word. And I walked in, and as soon as I walked in, I just started crying. It all came down. And what hurts me also, like all the people that walked in with me, nobody came and said, are you okay? Don't worry about it. That hurt me. That's the one I remember the most. Yes.
This is very good. Although most of the time in public places you find that most of the people will stand with you.
Yes.
But sometimes, yes, there are some weird incidents.
Yeah, and there was some incidents where like I walked into a place, especially after the Muslim ban. I went to Sam's, and this man, actually was the manager, because he was fixing things, and he came to say, ma'am, how was your evening? I said, good, thank you. I said, you know what, you're welcome here. I just want to tell you that. He said, oh, thank you so much, I appreciate it.
Yeah,
and he left.
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, our president's 4 years here had done a lot of damage when it comes to race issues. I think he has given clear indications whom he likes and whom he dislikes. And I think most of the time was wrong. Most of the time was wrong. So, with Mr. Biden coming into office, God willing, on the 20th of January, Sister Kat, what do you think? Do you think that there will be some changes?
I hope so. Definitely hope so.
Yes,
For
especially when it
everyone.
comes to racism as well?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
I really hope that whoever, steps up to the plate really brings people together instead of tearing them apart.
Yeah. Because, Abdullah, what do you think about Mr. Biden coming in the office?
I mean, obviously, much better than Trump. Yeah. So, I mean, he's been a clear supporter of Muslims, left, right, and center. I mean, I have yet to see a American leader quote a hadith.
Yeah.
He quoted that hadith that if you see evil, change it with your hands or with prayer and whatnot. And that's a hadith I've literally grown up hearing every single day, every other week at the masjid.
Yeah.
And you read it after Isha or after Fajr prayer, the morning prayer, the night prayer, and hearing it then from Biden was pretty interesting.
Yeah.
So I really do see that in terms of immigration, in terms of social justice, racism, everything, as Biden would say, inshallah, it's going to get better, inshallah.
But what can Muslims do in politics to make the future of this country better? What role can Muslims play in politics in this country to make sure that racism does not raise its head again? Any thought about it? I mean, we as Muslims, because look, I mean, we are Americans, right? Our children are born here. They are our generations are going to live in this country. So what are we doing, and what more can we do to help this country get rid of racism?
We need to get involved. I remember you said it yourself so perfectly that we're always sending which is good, but we're always sending our kids into medicine, law, and all engineering, but there's other fields that we need to start sending our kids into as well. As you said yourself, I remember you said law and journalism. Whoever has control, or not control, whoever has a voice in the press has a voice in the hearts of people. And then also just getting involved more and more in politics as well. Our people should be running. We have people who are making vaccines. If they use that same mentality and apply it to politics, they can make the same magic happen.
Yeah. So, Sister Fatma, did you ever encourage your children to go into politics or law or media?
Actually, no. I always give my children the freedom to choose what they like to do. Unfortunately, none of them wanted to get into politics or anything like that.
But everybody has that aptitude to go into politics.
Yes, because I think you have to.
Messy game anyhow.
Yeah, exactly. Because for this, and especially for politics or media, you have to have that drive and that desire to be in those fields, because they're very demanding, and you have to be people's person. And so if you don't have that, even if your parents push you, you're not going to be successful. But we should educate our children. Yes, we should.
I mean, we should. It's very, very important.
Yes.
If we are not going to politics, then there's
Yes.
something missing in our community.
Exactly. And I think we should start encouraging the youth to get into these fields because they don't know. As we all know, our community is always, you have to be a doctor and engineer. That's it.
Yes.
So, but we should give them good examples of people that are successful in politics, and that is a good field to get into, so they know about it.
I mean, like, if you are looking for a doctor in, let's say, in Osceola County, in Kissimmee, in Ponciana, in Orlando, right? Chances are that you will end up with a Muslim doctor.
Yep.
I mean, there are so many doctors here, surgeons here, but there's not a single politician that you can count on. I mean, most of our children, we are told that, well, you have to be a doctor first. If you can't be a doctor, then maybe a lawyer. If you cannot be a lawyer, then maybe engineer. So I think it is okay. I mean, there's nothing wrong, but I think we need to look into what is needed. And I think this country needs Muslims to come into mainstream politics and make their mark felt. It is something which I, as an Imam, feel it is very, very important. Because
I really like what you just said, that not only does Islam need it,
Yeah.
the country needs it as well.
Yes.
This country needs
the
Islam.
country needs it. The country needs it because so far it's most of the politicians belong to few religions, right? But when you look into Congress, right? I remember till 2 years ago there were only 2 Muslim congressmen, right? I think now we have 3 females. So which is good, excellent, but we need to have more. I mean, not only in Congress and Senate, but in your county, city, local levels as well. So I think this is something that the Muslim community need to really work on. We have 3 young men sitting here. If you like to pitch in with some of your views, you are more than welcome to say some things. Any last thoughts? I think we are going to conclude. Any thoughts about it, sister? What do you think about our discussion and what role you plan to play in future?
Definitely. So one thing I think is like really important, apart from what we've already discussed, but what Sister Fatima had to say, like for anyone that is a parent or